What makes you sad always? A Dog's Purpose and its sequel. Not Penny's Boat. Oddly specific, but the song The Light Behind Your Eyes by MCR. I rarely cry, and somehow whenever this song is played I just start crying instantly. Works like a charm. Every time the world around me gives me the feeling that I am just not good enough. Animal neglect/abuse. Every time. Whether or not if I'm going to make it in life. Last online 9 years ago. Seeing any dead animal in the road. I'll think about it all day even though I don't want to. When I think of my mom because he passed away a few months ago. The idea that no matter how hard you try, no matter how good you are at what you do, success is extremely difficult to grasp and hold. Whenever my friend seems sad, I can hear it in their voice and I'd what to do. It ruins my day sometimes. Knowing that my enemies are still alive. Never being able to talk to my dad. It's been nearly 5 years since he died and I miss our phone calls. He never lived long enough to see me get married and he never met his grandson. He wasn't the best dad, in fact he was pretty shitty a lot, but he sorted himself out and became a good father. But now I miss him. People abandoning animals. All they wanted is to be loved. The pound scene in Lady and the Tramp. The dog scene on Futurama, if you know, you know. Men. Seeing animals that are abused at the hands of humans. Sad animals. The last episode of Clone Wars. Don't get me wrong, I love it, and there's no other way I'd rather it end, but the end of it feels like a funeral for a TV series we grew up with for over 10 years. Always. A feeling of emptiness. Thinking of someone you love, who doesn't love you back. Getting yelled at and scolded, but also knowing that no life's forever. Old people walking their old dogs. Grave of the Fireflies. Having no real friends, no GF, the basic Reddit virgin. I kinda like the idea of suicide. Depression. Animal neglect. People across the street own a vacant lot next to me. It's now turned into a parking lot for trucks and a trailer since they are doing a lot of work on their house. This is the second time some poor dog has been left with them. Tied up during the day and left to roam around the lot at night when the gate is closed. No one pays any attention to this poor dog. He does have food and water. When he barks pitifully, I go to my porch and talk to him and he then goes back under the trailer to lie down on his piece of cardboard. I can't think about it or it will make me crazy. The few heart-wrenching scenes in Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Tucker, Envy's death scene, Alphonse talking about how he never sleeps because he doesn't have a body, Maze Hughes' funeral. Really, I could keep going. Amazing, yet sad, series. TBH, I feel tears I put deep inside me when people in my favorite TV series start crying or is very sad but keeps on pushing himself. Never getting gold. Reflecting too much on my current situation and my future prospects. That video of the raccoon finding some cotton candy on the ground and going to wash it as raccoons generally do, only for it to disintegrate in the water. The look of confusion and devastation always gets me. The news this year. Listening to Hurt by Johnny Cash. The song carries so much emotion that I literally cannot listen to it without crying. The opening scene of Land Before Time. Gets me every damn time. 0. Thinking of my friend Maureen, she died at 39 leaving 4 kids. It happened so fast, 12 days after diagnosis and she was gone. I was there when her husband told the 2 youngest. Watching my mom get older. The state of our US politics. My God, is it depressing. Dobby and Fred's deaths. When someone leaves the door slightly open when I tell them to close the door fully. Watching F1 2018 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and seeing Fernando Alonso's last Formula 1 race. I know he's coming back but it still makes me sad. Hong Kong is now under the control of the Chinese and its puppets. My love life. Anything that involves a dog experiencing distress, or dying. Even something as mild as Jurassic Park, I watched it once more than 10 years ago and haven't watched it again since, although I've watched every other episode of Futurama. I lost my own dog suddenly to lung cancer, pulmonary embolism, 15 years ago, and I still miss her. Not being able to speak or see my mom in person. She passed in '98 when I was 11 and she was only 37. Makes me sad just typing this out. Waking up to 0 notifications. Seeing obese children. Knowing that I'll outlive my dog. That people I meet online are no longer there, just like they never existed for me. They just went offline without anything saying and they live at the other end. PF the world, I will never hear of them again. My cat went missing last year. She had only stayed with me for a year, but she was one of those antisocial cats who pick you to be their human. She used to lay on my stomach and often slept with me while she wouldn't even let other people pet her. I still see her in my dreams or see myself looking for her, calling her. Sometimes I find her in the dream and it's so real, but then I wake up and she isn't there. I never stopped looking for her and I just hope that she is in care of a kind human and will find her way back to me eventually. Unhappy children. When I realized that I again have to sleep with my mind full of thoughts which I have no one to express to. COVID-19. Being alive. This is stupid, but the ending of your lie in April. It's been 1 fucking year and I still get depressed after thinking about it. The burden of my failures, I obsess and dwell on them, especially major ones. Also, the possibility of a wasted life, this too worries me. Never getting in a serious relationship or forgetting my dream. My 2 dogs that recently died. One was 18, so I was prepared, but a few months later my 7-year-old went into kidney failure and spent the last month of her life traveling to specialists and trying various treatments. I wasn't prepared for it not to work. I'll never get over it. Animal abuse and those stupid in the arms of the angels commercials. I cannot handle them. Then I get angry when they are over because they spend so much on commercials and sending a free blanket and shirt and bag. So out of the $30 you might send, $20 is going towards yourself, with the rest being split between marketing, salaries and whatever's left might end up being the value of a single can of dog food. Everything in this thread makes me sad. My dad once told me that he remembers everything about his dad, except for his voice. Thinking about that and the way he sort of broke down makes me scared that I might forget small yet important traits about him and my mom. That girl. The fact that there will be places that you'll never see, cafes you'll never visit, books you'll never read, movies you will never watch, people you'll never meet. I know it's vague, but do those facts hurt, man? One more light, Linkin Park. Alcohol. Failed expectations. Anytime I hear about a species going extinct, breaks my soul in a different kind of way than any personal sadness. Made friends with the wrong crowd back in elementary. Got bullied a lot. Years later, I still think about it every now and then. Maybe I need a therapist. One day, I'll have to speak at my parents' funeral. I suck at public speaking. Lil Peep. JoJo spoilers, manga, greater than the end of Stone Ocean. Less than. The leaves from the vine scene in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Just always leads to tears. Getting memories of when my mum tried to commit suicide. 6-year-old me. It really messed with a child's head. At 64 I've owned 9 dogs in my life. 5 of them have passed away. The 4 I have now are ages 16, 15, 14, and 7. Every one of them lived long and happy lives. Still, each loss hurts terribly. How it takes more and more effort to have a pleasant conversation about complicated questions. People are so in the trenches right now, they see everyone who disagrees topically about something as an enemy combatant. To me, it's obvious manipulation by the powers that be, so I try my best to be patient and understanding even when people lash out. But man, it takes more and more willpower and maturity to keep the high ground when trying to break through this mentality. I don't want to be in an echo chamber, but I get attacked from people who claim identity with either of the major US political parties. It's getting close to the point where the radicals just need to be ignored while the more calm folk sort out the mess. Thinking about people wearing adult diapers. You know they don't want to wear them, and the diapers are always advertised like people will barely notice them. Can be worn under your normal pants with no one seeing, etc. Like they have to hide and be ashamed of that. Makes me bummed out they have to feel that way about themselves. A song about divorced parents. Vincent and the Doctor.